And so, there's just so many different ways that we can heal, but for me, it's been guided meditations, sound bowl journeys, Reiki, breath work, and I look forward to it. Like, I can't wait to go back. Um, I don't know enough about it to be able to speak to it. Like, I haven't like gotten certified or
Well,
anything, but
speak to this then. Okay, meditation. Let's keep it real. Like
mhm,
when I started meditation, I in my racing thoughts, I did not have the trauma that you had in
mm,
childhood. But we all go through, we all have our
mhm,
stuff.
mhm,
And I remember one of the things was in meditation, they would say, okay, get your mind blank and don't think. And I'm
mhm,
like, okay, my mind's blank. Well, if I'm
mhm.
talking about my mind being blank, then is my mind blank?
Right.
I don't know what's going on with my mind
Right.
being blank.
Mhm,
How, especially, I can't imagine some of the stuff that you have shared about some of the trauma.
mhm.
How did you quiet your thoughts through meditation? Did you have a similar experience of how do you quiet these things, or
Yeah,
did it become
absolutely.
very easy for
No,
you?
absolutely, and that's why I do guided meditations,
Ah,
because I do have this app on my phone. It's called Insight Timer, and you can choose. There's so many different categories you can choose if you're feeling some kind of way, fear, anxiety, whatever. You can choose guided meditations. You can choose how much time you have to commit to it. Sometimes I
mm.
only have 3 minutes. Let me just start my morning before my kids wake up, or after I drop my kids off, because I'm trying to decompress from that like 10-minute drive to school. Sometimes you can do 15 or 30 minutes. I go to Sherry's facility, and so I do guided meditations because of my racing thoughts. I cannot just do, like, some people are just like, and that's great. Like, I aspire to be that. I cannot. But what I can do, and what I have been taught to do, is to focus on my breath. And so when my mind is racing and I'm thinking about drop off tomorrow and I need to pay my taxes and I got to fill up the gas tank or whatever, focus on your breath. And if you can be intentional about your breath, it gets you back into the space of being able to be just being. Yeah.
Beautiful. So that's how you get in, by focusing on your breath first.
Yeah. And I want to speak to the inner child healing too, because I really think that it's been profound for me to show up for my kids and be who they need, right? Because it's rough out here. I got 3 kids and they're wild. And because of my lived experience, I am not comfortable with disciplining them in the way that some people do, because it's a trigger for me, or I just don't feel like it's appropriate. But for many years, there's just been no discipline, and that's also kind of harmful in a way, right? But through breath work, through mindfulness, through healing,
That inner
I'm
child work.
there's like literally situations that I find myself in. I'm tired. I've worked all day. I was going to school. My husband every weekend would take them out for 3 years. Every weekend, take them out so that I can do homework, because I did my bachelor's degree in 16 months, my master's degree in 11.
Girl.
So all these reasons that I just want to chill. I just want to be right now. And the kids are just like, mom, 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 mom. And they're just being kids, right? Like, they just want my attention. They've been at school all day. And I'm like, I really just want to do nothing right now. But in those moments, I can actively feel myself choosing to get up and to go play a game that I really don't want to play. Not because I don't love my kids or I don't want to be present with my kids, but I'm just tired, right? And I can feel, like, energetically feel a part of my inner child healing in those moments. And the beauty in it is that I get to be who they need me to be, and I get to heal myself.
Oh my
It's called
goodness.
reparenting yourself.
With that said, do you do, I don't know, guided meditation with your kids, or do you
It's funny that you
do
mentioned that, because I
anything
just
like
I just
that?
introduced my husband to breathwork last week, and I was like,
Yeah,
let's
what
see how
did
this goes, right? Because we could totally be doing this on our own. Like, I don't
sure.
have to have a practitioner, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so no, I do try to tell them, like, when they're like all amped up or they're crying or whatever, I'm like, okay, let's take a deep breath. And so little bits here and there, but not to where I actually want to be with them, because it's just so profound to me how simple it is, but how healthy and beneficial that it is.
And I think it's also fair for people to know there's uh, different kinds of meditation. I guess that's what I want to say. I mean, here in North County, they have that it's one of the abbeys that you can go to, and they do a walking meditation.
Mm,
I mean, it is, they introduce you to, just like you were talking about the person who was a Buddhist. They had, so,
mhm,
they obviously have some sort of religious practice to it, but you walk, and they kind of guide you through it. And I think if one of the things I'm getting out of what you're saying, especially with the healing process, is find what works for you.
Absolutely.
You know,
and I want to say, if I could leave anybody with one thing, I want to say, before you shut something down thinking, oh, that's not for me, or that's not going to work, or, I'm too gangster for that, or whatever. I've heard some things, right? Be open-minded enough to at least try it once. At least try it, whether it's yoga, Pilates, working out, meditation, anything that is going to benefit you in any kind of way. At least try it once. Maybe twice.
Yeah.
Maybe the first time you're going to be all caught up in your head, And
Yeah.
so that, I think, is really important, because I think a lot of people could benefit from these types of practices, but they tell themselves, oh, that's not going to work, or I can't get into that position, or I can't, those types of negative self-talk that we have.
And then for those who are still, again, because trauma's a very real thing, and people to open up to another individual, stranger or whatever, I need to kind of get warmed up. Is there a book I can read? Do you on inner child or anything that you have done? Is there maybe recommend maybe one or two
Yeah,
books?
there's so many. So I have Kindle downloaded on my phone, and I just complete books like crazy. But some of the ones that have been the most profound for me, I don't remember the author's name because it's a really long last name, but it's The Body Keeps the Score. And so learning about trauma, that book was profound for me. There's another one called What My Bones Know. That one was really, really profound for me. But there's so many self-help books, but there's also just autobiographies or memoirs. Like, some people are like, I don't need self-help, but just reading about something that somebody else has been through.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a From the Streets to the Seats.
There's a book right here.
We are working on our second anthology too. That'll be out early next year.
So we're coming towards the end of this particular podcast. So let's talk a little bit about your current position that you're in. What is it, and what are you doing?
Yeah, so I finished my master's degree in December. In November at ASU, so Arizona State University.
Because according to this book, this is
2022.
And since then, you've graduated. When it said there about going to
anxiously
get your
waiting.
Yes.
I was waiting for, I think I hadn't applied yet, but yeah, I finished that in December of last year. In November, prior to me finishing, I had applied for this role, and all the thoughts came up. I'm not ready for this. I don't have my master's. That's the minimum qualification and whatnot. And on March 24th, I started my first day. So it's the regional coordinator for the Rising Scholars Network, which is the statewide initiative that I spoke to earlier. And my role will be stepping into San Diego County, Imperial Valley, and the Inland Empire to serve practitioners. So no longer student facing, but the folks who are serving the students. And it's really just, how can we support? What technical assistance do folks need? Are there professional development opportunities that folks need? How can we help the schools and the practitioners to support this population?
Because it's not just schools, it's also what you're calling work sites or other
So since the Rising Scholars Network is not just in California community colleges, they are in the prisons, some of the federal prisons, the juvenile halls, and the county jails. I'll have a total, so far right now, I have a total of 16 campuses and 32 sites. And so the sites include those institutions.
So perhaps someone might be listening to this and they're like, God, if I only could be like Ashley, if I could only get my ish together, if I could only, how do I start? What do you say?
I think what I would say is to leap into faith, for one. Not like spiritual, religious, or whatever, but just take a leap of faith, something, get out of our comfort zones. Whatever it is that we aspire to be, we can be, and tapping into whatever support system is going to be necessary to get you to where you want to be. And also grind. hustle as hard as you can, you know? There were so many moments where I thought, "I can't do this. I'm just gonna give up. I can just go back to being a manager at Walmart. It's a lot easier because it's hard, right? It's hard, and we're navigating all of the things in life that we still have to navigate, you know? And, um just be as intentional, cry it out if you need to, cuss it out, scream, whatever you need to do, get through those hard days, but keep the goal in sight, and the goal should always be in sight, and whatever, if it's just one step at a time, maybe sometimes you can do leaps and bounds, like I told you, my associates took 4 years. I did my bachelor's in 16 and I did my master's in 11 because I felt like I had time that I needed to make up for it, and now I've got 3 kids. I need to get my family out of poverty. I wanna buy a home, I just have these goals and these aspirations, and they're so fresh in my mind
Mm.
that I'll do whatever it takes to get us there. And I think that a lot of us have that drive. We just need to tap into it.
It's that saying, if you can dream it, you can begin it, or
Mhm.
something like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
And before we end this podcast, what question or what would you definitely like, I wish when I have these talks, or I think people should know this. Is there
Mm.
anything that you want to like speak to that?
I think, I'm not sure about, like, having these talks or whatnot, but I think the one thing that I want to folks who have been in situations maybe that I've been in, or who have, experienced the things that maybe that I've shared about today, or something different, I think the thing that I want folks to know is that we are not we are not a product of what we have had to endure. Um, we are so much greater than that, right? And, and that we're worthy, and that there is a place for us here in our communities, and in wherever it is that we're trying to be, that we belong, that we're worthy, and that we're loved.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Ashley Gerdo. We are
Comments.
and we got a
Hey.
few comments. Well, before we leave, let's just read a few of those comments here.
So we've got Bernie J 23. Your story is truly an
Aw.
inspiration and a tremendous platform to strengthen the cause for transformation. Thank you for your transparency and openness.
Thank you.
That was Bernie J 23.
So for those that can't hear, we have Bernie J 23. You can certainly see it in the comments, and we really thank you and thank everyone who has been listening. It's wonderful because Ashley has a great story. We also want to thank our production assistant, our audio engineer, our social media manager, Andreas Marin, who's
Yes,
doing
sir.
an amazing job here at Imagine Podcasting. So we'll have more of this. We're going to be having some more Voices of Resilience. And please, if you're interested in sharing yours, hit us up here at Imagine Podcasting, and we will make sure that we get to you. Ashley, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You are truly an inspiration, and I always enjoy talking with you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Andres. I appreciate you. To everyone who listened, I appreciate you.
Have an amazing day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.